all. It's still exactly the same.
That's still Austin. I don't see what they got down there. No, it's not the same as down there.
Getting cold in here. They must have turned the AC.
Hell, it's only 70.
I know. Couldn't see your breath, man.
Pretty short of
That's
it.
jacket weather.
Hanging deer in here. And my nipples all hard. Came in here one time, Chico, man, I dang near froze my ass.
I've been in here in the winter when they got it cracked
I know, I bring a jacket when I come here. I'm like, where's the
You guys worried about equipment here? Or
Don't want to get too hot.
Okay, film this. Straight up cold.
Yeah, well,
You have to do like this in the studio. Don't want to be nipping out in here, right?
high beams inside the studio.
Just talking on radio just gets me so excited.
That's right.
The best part of the show's on the breaks.
Right.
Sports talk leader, AM 1300 The Zone. Now that the NFL season is behind us, remember football?
Oh, I went to a football game the other night, blue and white game. I'm so ready for football to come back. It was like teasing me.
I just watch the reruns on NFL Network.
I do too.
It keeps me going, man.
I know who's going to win, but I watch it anyway.
But do you ever run across one that you didn't know? I mean, that's what I like.
Right,
and I go, oh, this is a good game.
Yeah, this is
What?
a good game.
Is that what it was? How did I miss it?
I'm waiting for the power rankings to come out. I want to see where the Cowboys are going to be in the power rankings.
Right. I wonder what the Horns are going to do.
Nobody cares about that anymore. Until they get their freaking head coach problem solved and get the program back on track.
Yeah, they need to get the kids on
Now you
track.
got Baylor with their nonsense going on.
That's the ignorant stuff down there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, how'd you like to feel those shoes? Be tough. Because the NCAA is going to come down on them too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know 3 people with degrees from Baylor.
It's going
They
to crush their program.
coming back.
At least
That's
4
cool. That
years.
matters.
Here we go.
It matters.
Between the Lines Sunday morning on Austin Sports Talk 1300 The Zone. Brought to you by Sioux Falls Raider. Now back to the Bud Light Studios and your host, Ken Milo.
And we're back. We're having to do this thing. You know, this syndication stuff is just, it's not just sit down and talk on the radio anymore, folks. They're sitting there, okay, we got to do it this weekend. Now, okay, now this, oh.
That's the first time I've seen a countdown to go
I know,
live.
to go
I was like,
live.
I'm impressed.
Pretty fancy.
We're getting all professional up in here. 5, 4, 3, 2. I was like, whoa.
You know, folks,
Hard to concentrate.
one thing, if you like what you hear here, be sure to get the free iHeart app, because you can carry it, you can listen to, we have more show going on after we go off air at 7 o'clock here. You can listen to the Zone, and that they go to AM 1300 The Zone to find it on the iHeart app, Tomas.
Yeah, you just type it in and pop
Yeah.
right up.
And you can listen to the rest of the show if you like what you're hearing here. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. And, you know, one thing that I guess we better talk about, we are in Texas. And that's high school football. No, Macy, we're going to talk about deer hunting now.
I like football too.
Oh, I do too. But, folks, Macy, me and him have been friends for a while. And Macy, you worked at Texas Parks and Wildlife as a biologist.
I did for 10 years in South Texas in the mid-90s to the early 2000s. And for the last 12 years, I've been self-employed as a wildlife consultant.
And you raised some big bucks. What's the biggest buck that you have helped raise?
Oh, I'm not sure of that. Well, some of the 300-inch deer that have been produced in Texas are on client ranches of mine, so I don't know the exact score, but we have raised a few wild 300-inch deer.
On a 300-inch deer, they have to put a splint on their neck to hold their head.
Well, that's beginning to be a problem. We need to grow larger necks You
We're
know,
going to have
that
to
is
start
the problem.
crossing whitetail with elk so they can carry their horns.
Well, like I say, we need to grow larger necks and bigger shoulders, kind of like raising a football player, as opposed to, because we've got the antler thing almost figured out, but we need a support system to carry those large antlers around. So yeah, it's gone quite well.
Yeah. Well, should I shoot that one? Well, yeah, he's over 300 inches. Yeah, but look how he holds his head. It's down on the ground. He's dragging his head around.
Walking backwards, yeah, yeah. You know, they send trail camera pictures of a 40 or 50 point buck, and they want me to get the score of it. And they send me one photograph. Of course, it's at night. It's blurry. It's 20 yards from the camera, and they're saying, "Can you score this deer?" And it's like, not even close.
Well, shoot it, bring it to me, we'll look at it. Well, how old is that deer? He's as old as he's ever going
That's
to
right.
get.
That's right. That's ground checking. That's right.
So, but that's one thing here in Texas. We have, such great hunting, and back in the 30s and 40s, when here in Central Texas especially, there just wasn't a whole lot of deer. And Texas Parks and Wildlife came in and said, okay, we need to do something to get our deer population back. They moved a lot of deer into this part of the world then. My dad was one of the reasons there wasn't a lot of deer here. He was one of the outlaws. But
you had, what, 7 siblings, so they
yeah,
had to eat something.
Feed a bunch of people.
Yeah, yeah.
But, so, they got the game wardens, started everything, Texas Parks and Wildlife, the whitetail division, and was Horace one of the first over that, or who?
Horace was there from the get-go. The big start, was the big jump on the population growth was the eradication of the screwworm in the 50s. And once we figured out the sterile, the male sterile screwworm, once they figured that problem out, then the whitetail population exploded. In the meantime, they did trap deer along the Gulf Coast from the King Ranch, from Aransas Wildlife National Refuge, and moved them all over the state. And basically it was just planting seeds all over the state. And then with the eradication of the screwworm, then the population exploded.
I never thought of that. But, when a doe has a fawn and the umbilical cord falls off, that's just an open wound for a screwworm fly to get in there and plant eggs.
Yeah, some of the old timers will still tell you
Well,
about
I have helped dig out screwworms with my dad out of calves.
carrying the old bucket of tar and slopping it on the navels and any cut or anything like that. It was devastating to, obviously to wildlife because you couldn't treat them. But obviously your domestic animals, you could pin them up and treat them and, take care of them. But the wildlife, it wreaked havoc on the whitetail deer.
I never thought of that.
So the screwworm was huge.
Wow, I never thought.
And now we have 4.1 million deer in the state of Texas, and we have the majority of our permits are to remove or to harvest more deer because just half of a century ago we were planting seeds and trying to produce deer. Now the majority of our permits are to reduce our deer herd because we do have over 4 million deer in the state of Texas.
Wow, I'll shoot half of those.
That's out of my neighborhood.
Well, I don't know. That might be a little. Would somebody else come? Let's see. I don't want to say gut them on the radio.
Eviscerate.
Would somebody else come and field dress them?
Let me Google that right there. Yeah.
So that sounded better. But it's so unreal what Texas Parks and Wildlife does for our great. They are a partner of all our outdoorsmen in the state of Texas. I mean, whether you're fishing, and whether if you're fishing, that's my. I just got
we got a new sound bite I'm not aware of.
I just got a message on my phone.
Wake up a little bit.
It sounded like it sounded just like a bass hitting something, didn't it?
The producer in the back. Is that a cue?
So, but fishing, Texas Parks and Wildlife raises some of the biggest bass, or helps produce some of the biggest bass in the nation. Whitetail, there again, helps produce some of the biggest whitetails in the nation.
Well, I'd like to see Parks and Wildlife take on the deer role as like they have taken on the fish role, like Cody was talking about earlier. You know, they're breeding for a superior bass. They're breeding, they're crossbreeding, they're mass producing them, and they're putting them out there for the public consumption. You know, they're building a better animal. I would like to see Parks and Wildlife, other than just their 52 public hunting areas, but build a better deer. You know, there are deer breeders, there's private individuals building better deer, obviously, but it would be neat. It would be interesting to see Parks and Wildlife step up and mimic, like they're doing, they're stocking ponds and, you know, and lakes and that kind of stuff. I'd like to see them do that for the white-tailed deer.
Wow, now that is a different angle. Yeah, that would work.
Well, it only makes sense. I mean,
It does.
It falls right into their wheelhouse, and I love the fact that Texas has the framework and the structure that everybody else is trying to model their Parks and Wildlife programs after. That only makes sense that they would venture into that area if they're not already there.
Right.
Doing some, I know they're doing something to some extent, but to the extent that you're talking about, I'd love to see it, and I know there's a bunch of guys down south that would love to see that.
Absolutely,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to manage a wildlife management area in South Texas around Choke Canyon Reservoir, public hunting lands, and we would have 300, 350 hunters come through there a year. Of course, everybody wanted to harvest a big deer, and so they have 52 public hunting areas in addition to the state parks that they hunt, and they've got a bird nest on the ground. They have the laboratories in place. They have the opportunity.
That's another great area down. Choke Canyon is one of my favorite lakes.
Yes, sir.
And the water's been low for quite some time. And then, of course, the oil industry didn't help out that area much either.
No.
They tore up the roads really bad. But another great area for both hunting and fishing. And I'd love to see. And it hurt the park, too, because there wasn't anybody coming in using the permits or buying their permits in order to come in and utilize the park because all the roads coming in were tore up by the guys working the oil fields. And so it really hurt the parks down there, so I'd like to see all that come back around. And now the water's back up again.
Yeah, Choke Canyon has always been a sleeper, if you would. Giant catfish, bass, and alligators.
Heck, yeah.
And alligator gar.
Alligator gar and gators.
Yeah.
No, that one, me and Don Bailey, my fishing partner on the television show, we were fishing Choke Canyon. I'm not lying, not exaggerating. We pulled up into a cove. We're jacking around, fishing, having a great time. And there was a gator as long as that 20-eye skeeter boat. It was huge.
Wow. I think we just got told that we got a break here. Station wants to make money, so they'll let us talk.
Oh, how dare they?
I know. You know, hey folks, we got a break so the station can make $1, so they'll keep us on air and pay Tomas. Tomas makes the big money in this bunch. Hey, we got to get out of here. We got to thank Sioux Falls Raider for being the sponsor. We'll see y'all on the other side of this break.
Yeah. He didn't play our my
POD.
song,
Yeah.
my POD.
Oh, we get straight.
You almost need like a dry erase board up here to prompt you, you
Yeah.
know.
Who you can talk to.
Yeah.
I'm sitting, he's in there. He's holding up one finger. We got 1 minute. Hey, can y'all hear it in his ear, all's ears when he tells me 1 minute?
No, I'm not
Oh,
here.
he's talking to me then. He's not just talking. He's not talking to everybody. Talking on the ticket.
Oh, well, I thought I was supposed to have one of the routers on so that they could receive it, but then I realized I didn't need to have it turned on because they were already receiving us. It was my mistake. But it was real quick, nobody noticed.
I know, I ain't worried about it. Do we want to throw the 800 number out? Or you want to?
Not yet.
Yeah,
There may be some angry people, so
Yeah,
we'll
you
just
better-
hold off on that.
Yeah.
You better make sure you cover the veteran word it is.
All right, I'm going to go get Jerry on the phone.
After we talk to Jerry, then we're going to have Macy and we're going to talk Memorial Day stuff and that. Have Cody.
Okay.
AM 1300 The Zone.
You promised me that we were going to have a big buffet breakfast for the inaugural
I think it's served here. Oh, hell no, not here.
He told me he was behind a strip club, and we were going. And I said, "Hey, I'm in." You know,
I'm in.
all I heard was the strip club part, and here I am waiting.
Strip club right there.
Well, he said something about a breakfast buffet by the strip club, so I said, "Sign me up."
I don't think the cute girls would be in there this early in the
Breakfast
morning.
in bikinis.
And have the C team, the C team.
I guess I need to read that small print in the contract a little better.
What, you got a contract?
You can read.